The Hood, a place I didn't belong, but it's where I found myself learning about the School of Hard Knocks. Hey everyone, JonnyB here, and welcome to the Chronicle Station. And today I'm here to share a story about how I went from gamer to gullible. Coming up in elementary school, I was really behind the rest of my class. And when I say pretty behind, I mean I probably shouldn't have graduated with the kind of scores I had. To give you a quick example, there was this thing called the Iowa test, and there was a set limit of time for you to complete it. Now, I was a terrible test taker, so the day comes and the principal at the time came into the class to wish everyone good luck. This woman comes into the class and says, "Okay class, you have a X amount of time to take the test. Good luck. Oh, and John, don't worry about the time. You can take as long as you want." My classmates look at me and I look at them and I look at her and think,
"I'll never forgive you for this."
Suffice to say that it didn't really do me any good. Before I graduate though, there was a guy in my class that couldn't stand me. I remember him asking what school I was going to, and when I answered him, his next line sent a shiver down my spine. "I can't wait until you get in there. They're going to beat the shit out of you." Kinda f***ed up, but he wasn't wrong. So fast forward, I graduate and it's time to hit high school. Once summer hit, then there was a field trip planned for the freshmen so we could bond and get to know each other. That was the beginning of the end for me. We'll talk about that in a second. Real quick, I like to share the mindset I was in when it got closer to the summer trip. I distinctively remember the feelings of fright and anxiety as we left the comfort of our middle class neighborhood and then entering the ghetto. It's already terrifying changing schools, growing up, meeting new people, and if you're anything like me, education scared the out of you. Now, imagine leaving an area every day that you know very well, you know you're safe, and then going to a place that you saw all those hood movies about and the things that go down in those places. I can confirm from my experience, along with countless others, those movies were real. As we're passing by these areas that are full of greenery and nicely built houses, it quickly changed to untreated lawns, rundown homes, and groups of people hanging on corners with the not so nice looking expressions on their faces. Immediately I turn to my mom and say, "Where the f you taking me? I grew up on Boyz Master, these got guns." I felt like I did something wrong, and the fact that I didn't make good grades didn't help me get into a better school, so yeah, hand it your dealt kind of thing. The schools I wanted to go to looked nice and had these different programs, the kids seemed nice, and my old classmates got accepted. But not me. When I got to my school though, I'm gonna die here. They seemed a little too happy to see me. And not in the, "Hey, how you doing? Wanna be friends?" No, this was more like,
"Hello, motherfucker.
I think I just myself."
Now, I needed to be known that I had gone to the hood multiple times. An old friend of mine had a grandfather that was the pastor of a church in Inglewood, and anybody that's from Chicago knows that Inglewood back during the 90s and early 2000s was hood central. Ghetto. I would go there frequently to either go to church with him or they would have picnics and stuff like that. I was a bit younger and not really aware of my surroundings. I was just being a kid and didn't know any better. But I was cognitive enough to tell the difference between green grass and dead grass, seeing liquor stores on almost every corner and knowing what it meant if you sagged your pants. Fun fact, sagging spelled backwards spells what? So, back to the summer field trip. This is where I first up. Everyone knows that first impressions are the most important. Well, I learned the hard way. It's not even the first day of school yet and I screwed up so hard. So what happened was my mom dropped me off. Mistake number one. People saw me getting dropped off when everyone else walked or took the bus. Then apparently everyone already kind of knew one another because most of them came from neighboring schools or lived close to each other. Mistake number two. People already know each other and I'm the new kid on the block. And it's incredibly obvious that I'm not from around here. The administrators called us in and had us separated into different classrooms. I don't know why, but they just did. I go into a room where everyone knew each other, and there was whispering and muttering going on among everyone about the elephant in the room. And guess who that was?
Me! That's who!
So I think I had an outfit that just didn't match all the way, and it wasn't like the freshest gear back then, which of course didn't help, and I definitely remember having a cap on. So what did I do? I adjust the cap so I can slightly hide my face, like some old school Chris Brown or Baby Joker shit. Mistake number 3. People saw me and I showed fear.
We're all gonna die!
Luckily, the guys were done sizing me up and left out of the room, even though we weren't supposed to. So I felt a bit of relief when the muttering had died down.
But wait! There's more!
My biggest mistake was getting ready to happen. I mean, a colossal up. There were 2 other guys in there just talking to each other. Also in the room had 3 girls that all knew each other extensively. They pulled some that I hadn't seen ever again until I was in college. These 3 girls orchestrated a psychological attack on me. And it worked! They sat down nearly surrounding me. To draw you a picture, there was a long round table. I was sitting on this side. One was sitting directly in front of me, another one sitting at the head of the table, and the last one was sitting directly next to me. And all eyes were on me for what felt like an hour. This isn't some that I made up in my head because of nervousness. No. This was 3 lionesses watching their prey, ready to pounce. They sat down at the same time and locked their eyeballs on me, started to look at each other and then back to me, constantly laughing, giggling. Then the moment of truth. I broke a sweat, and not just an ordinary pebble of sweat. No, my face looked like the mist you see on your car in the morning. I took my hand, ran it across my forehead, looked at my hand, and rubbed my fingers together. And my ass tried to play it off like I was cool or something. These chicks lit up like the 4th of July, just dying of laughter, smacking the table and giggling with one another, and got up and left. Now, I know what you're thinking. John B, you must have felt some relief once they left though, right? And no, you're wrong. What actually went through my mind was, hey guys, we're not supposed to leave the room. No bull. That was what I was actually thinking. I had such an innocent mind. I thought I would be helping them not get in trouble and I could save face. I'm so thankful that I didn't say that, because I would be begging for a death sentence at that point. I mean, to be fair, I was relatively an easy target to take a shot at. I'm on their turf and this is their domain, and
put some respect on it. I ain't gonna say it no more.
Got it. The unfortunate part of this experience was that I had an entire school year in this setting and couldn't really say anything about it because it was portrayed as weakness. It was already kind of drilled in me earlier on that snitches get stitches.
I never knocked on nobody!
So I didn't really talk about anything regarding this for years to come. There were so many things that I endured and went through that actually caused confusion and conflict among people that really cared about me. And knowing that some of it stemmed from my years in high school helped me understand a bit more about myself. The longer I held on to resentment, anger, and the classic shoulda, woulda, coulda, I wasn't able to think clearly on the present. Reflecting back now, I've become pretty empathetic to those different from me. I know that it's the norm to say and preach being empathetic and forget and forgive, but it's definitely a lot easier said than done, especially when there's a lot of hurt there. Like I said, I spent an entire school year in that school, and if it wasn't for one person that actually stood out from the rest and warned me about what a few people had in store for me, I might not be here telling you this story. Seriously, there was a lot that happened in just my freshman year that I could make an entire playlist about on this channel. I might even do that actually. Like the first time I saw a fight in school, or the first time I got in a fight at school, or the first time I was in a riot at school. All of those crazy stories shouldn't really be experienced for people my age at the time. But unfortunately, it wasn't a rare occurrence. Bad stuff happened all the time. Moral of the story. For me, the concept of understanding change is the takeaway here. This was the beginning of a series of events that led me down a path of making some pretty bad decisions and getting involved in things I shouldn't have. Without a doubt, things are going to happen in your life, and holding on to negative experiences doesn't really do you any good. The change in my environment, the change in the people around me, the change in my life during that time was an experience that was meant for me. For those that have made it this far watching, think about an experience that you probably had that left a bad memory or a scar, and see how you can switch that into a positive that you can either share to help someone or yourself. To those girls that got me back then, well, yeah, you got me. I'm not dead, so thanks for the experience, and I hope you're doing well. So that's all I got for you today. As for the rest of that summer field trip, Yeah, I spent most of it in isolation from everyone because I had already fickled up. You wouldn't believe me if I told you that even after the trip, I f***ed up again on the same day after we got back to the school. If you want to hear what I did, I'm gonna need that subscription number to go up and something around 100 likes on this video so YouTube will notice.
My black ass.
If you enjoyed the video, do not hesitate to share a story about how you damn near pants or whatever experience scared the crap out of you down in the comment section below. And don't worry, I'll share the pain with you. Till next time, art fans. Oh, and don't forget to
like, subscribe, share, and hit the bell.